What's going on, nation, and welcome to Chiseled Chest. This is the next installment in my series of workouts that are focused on building muscle and strength, and I'll put a link to that playlist over here. Now, the way this workout's gonna go is you're gonna start off with a heavy 5x5 and then go into your volume training. That we're hitting a bit of strength gains and then focusing on muscle growth by doing lots of volume. Starting off this workout like you would any other, and that's with a quick warm-up set. You guys can do multiple warm-up sets if you need them. Traditionally, I do 12 to 15 repetitions with light weight to help get into the area, and you guys can also use my shoulder warm-up videos that I have on YouTube as well. I'll post a link to those. I always do those before I start the workout. I just didn't include it in this video because you guys should already know that by now. I have this habit of every time I wear my sweatshirt and bench, I always put the zipper exactly where the bar hits it, every time. Now remember, guys, we're doing a 5x5 workout first, then we're gonna go into the high volume training. And so all you wanna do on this 5x5 is focus on strength. Make sure your form is perfect as you're pressing the weight up and down. If you guys need help adjusting your bench press form, I'll post a link to one of my form videos in the info section below. And it's crucial here that you have a spotter, especially if you're pushing yourself to a point where you've never been before. So make sure you have somebody there to grab the bar just in case. For me, I'm still recovering from my bicep injury that I had about a month and a half ago. Everything feels pretty good at this point, but I developed a bit of a some weakness in my left shoulder. You guys probably can't really tell from this angle, but the right side of the bar is going up faster than the left. It's just like pressing movement still not 100% yet because I had to stay away from them for a while, but that's okay. We can rebuild, get back to where we need to be, and we can get stronger. I'm not worried about it. I guess my main point is, guys, listen to your body, especially when you're lifting heavy weight. You will get to the point where you're benching crazy amounts of weight, but you won't get there if you hurt yourself along the way. Moving on to my last set of the 5x5, I have 265 pounds on the bar. Now, like I said, guys, make sure as you're doing this, you want to always be challenging yourself. So make sure you're adding weight with each set. And in case you missed it in the beginning of the video, you're only resting about 2 to 3 minutes max in between each set. And also, each time you guys try this routine, always try to increase the weight by at least 5 pounds per set. Once you're fully rested from completing your 5x5, make sure you guys hydrate, do what you have to do, warm up some more, but now you're going to move into the muscle gain portion of the workout. And the only reason why I label it the muscle gain portion is because we're going to be working with more volume here, okay? To build muscle, you need more volume, progressive overload, more sets, more reps, okay? It all comes together. Now you guys are going to quickly notice here on these repetitions that I am using the full range of motion, all the way up, all the way down. You break down the most muscle tissue in the negative portion of the movement. So for those of you who have been lied to and have been told to only do half reps to keep more tension on the chest, it's absolutely ridiculous for the reason I just mentioned. And I guarantee you that if you are worried about tension, you could do more repetitions and your chest will fatigue out. Because that's the point here, guys, right? To break down as much muscle as possible, to work with progressive overload, and to push your body to its absolute limit. And you can do that always by adding more repetitions to your sets. Now, for those of you who might have a hard time bringing the dumbbells all the way down, it could be a slight form issue. Just make sure you have a slight arch in your back, flex those glutes, push your knees out, and you'll notice that as I bring the dumbbells down, my elbows are actually kind of pushed forward a bit, so they're in line with my chest. If you're bringing the dumbbells down directly over your shoulders with your elbows flared backwards, you're going to be pushing through the rotator cuff and you can cause an injury, so make sure you look out for that. This routine only calls for 3 sets, but I'm feeling really good, so I'm gonna go for a 4th set, and I'm gonna try bumping up to 105s on my incline. Now, this is something that you guys should always try to pull yourself away from whenever you're doing any program, including my own. You know, a program is a guideline for you guys to go make gains in the gym. You know, if you're looking for something new or don't exactly know what you're doing.
It doesn't mean that as soon as you do all the sets and reps, you have to stop doing the workout, especially if you can feel like you can do more. And I feel like a lot of us put ourselves in this trap position where we go to the gym, we have our workout in mind, and we just aim for the amount of sets and the amount of reps that we're gonna do, and then we stop. And that can hold you back sometimes. If you feel like you can do another set, and you wanna pump out even more, go for it.
Now, just as a reminder, guys, when you're doing these sets, the goal is 8 to 10 repetitions, and you're only resting 60 to 90 seconds max in between each set. Now, you're supposed to only do 3 sets, but I was feeling really good, so I wanted to push myself. I was able to get 10 repetitions with 80s, 10 repetitions with 90s. On my 100s, I only got 7 repetitions, but as you can see from here, I was feeling good. I had a bit more energy left in the tank, and I was actually able to do one more set with 105s, and I was able to get out 8 repetitions. And you guys are also gonna notice that on my very last repetition, I do a super slow negative. There's no reason why when you're done your set that you should just throw the dumbbells on the ground. Take advantage of having a fatigued chest and having all that weight in the air and do that slow negative.
That's back.
Deflating.
Now, as soon as you finish, you're gonna move on to the next exercise, which is the dumbbell flat bench press. Now, for those of you who always start with this exercise, it'll be a nice change up for you to hit the inclines first and then go to the flat bench press with your chest already fatigued. Especially for those of you who still have a hard time with that mind-muscle connection, doing this exercise with a chest that's already fatigued and broken down a bit is going to force you to have to work harder to bench the same amount of weight. You might even have to reduce it, but overall, you're going to feel those chest fibers activate a lot more, and it could help you with that mind-muscle connection. Moving on to set 2, 105s for 8 repetitions. Again, guys, make sure your form is on point. And you'll notice here that even when I'm doing this exercise, I'm tucking my elbows in a bit more than I could with the barbell bench press. And that's why I'm still having a hard time, because with the barbell bench press, your arms are in fixed positions. So that position on my shoulder is still kind of feeling not so good. But here, as you can see, I can tuck my elbows in and get a much stronger press.
Where'd you get that stringer from?
Herculean. These guys make awesome stringers, and they feel really nice, and they make my chest look pretty.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, flex for you, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I failed on my 8th rep on the last set, so even though I did, I'm still gonna bump it up to 110s and get my body in action. The whole point of this routine is to push yourself. If you get a spotter, like I have a spotter here, he's gonna help me get those forced repetitions, which is also gonna help with strength too. So don't be afraid to bump the weight up, even if you failed in your last set.
Now, on the last set, guys, you want to make sure you're really emptying that tank, because after this, we're going to move into some exercises that don't require much weight. And you should always be emptying your tank anyways. The numbers of how much you're lifting should only matter in terms of you're always adding weight when you can if you feel like the weight was too light for the desired amount of repetitions. So if your goal is to get 8 to 10 and you can bust out 15, add some weight. It doesn't matter if you're fatigued or not, or how you're feeling, or if it's the same weight you did the week before. Always worry about the now and work your body to exhaustion.
Everything give out on that 6th rep.
I got a good bicep workout.
Good spot.
Next up is the dumbbell pullover. Now, I do have a how-to video on this exercise that I'll link to for you guys, because you can do this exercise for your lats or your chest, depending on how you adjust your form. And a lot of people like to hang off the side of a bench. Believe it or not, this is actually a much better way to perform the movement with your whole body being supported by the bench, so that you can really focus on dropping that dumbbell behind your head and bringing it up and over as you squeeze your chest as hard as you can. So guys, the dumbbell pullover, great exercise, and you'll notice here the main difference between working your lats and working your chest is I'm trying to keep only a slight bend in my elbow, and I'm trying to keep my arms as close to my head as possible to target my chest. If I was to try to target my lats, I would be bending my elbows much more, and I would flare my arms out as much as I could. So that's going to be the main difference, but like I said, I'll link to that video below.
For the last exercise, guys, we're gonna do dumbbell flies, and I'm actually gonna be using my Iron Bull Strength grips on here. I'll put a link to these in the info section below. The reason why I like using the grips sometimes, especially like on my last exercise, is you will get a bit more muscle activation, especially throughout your forearm. I mean, when you're doing flies or even a chest press and you put the grips on, because you have to squeeze so much harder, you're activating muscle fibers you normally wouldn't when you have the thinner bar. They're pretty cool. If you haven't tried them out, check them out. If you don't have them, you don't need them. It's just gonna make the exercise a bit more intense. And these are 2.5s. I'm actually gonna be using 3-inch ones on here. So it's gonna burn. I can't even get my fingers to touch on these right here. That's how different it is.
All right, nation, the final exercise for this routine is going to be the dumbbell flat chest fly. And now I know there's a lot of controversy that's been popping up on YouTube about this exercise being dangerous for your shoulders. And you know what? At the end of the day, it is a dangerous exercise for your shoulders. Pretty much every exercise that you can do, if you do it wrong, is going to be dangerous for some part of your body. Now, if you don't want this exercise to be dangerous for your shoulders, you're going to have to use proper form. And one of those things is going to mean that you're probably going to have to make sure you're using the right amount of weight, because most people use way too much weight when you do this exercise. You're trying to work your chest in a stretched position, which is very different than doing a pressing movement. As you guys can see, I'm only using 40s here. I'm keeping a slight bend in my elbows. I'm making sure that my hands are always in line with my chest. Look right here. My elbows are turned in a bit, and I'm coming down over my chest. Even the slightest degree of movement of bringing those dumbbells a bit higher up is going to put all the pressure on my shoulders instead of onto my chest. So guys, make sure you do this exercise right. Really feel that stretch, and you're going to perform 3 sets of 15 repetitions. And like I said, you don't have to have the grips. They do help if you do have them, but if you don't, just squeeze those handles as hard as you possibly can throughout every single repetition, and you will feel a bit more muscle fiber activation. It's actually really awesome, and you guys are gonna love it.
It always feels good after that tight grip. All right, guys, that's your chiseled chest workout. Now remember, this routine is focused on building muscle and strength. That's why we start off with that 5x5, and then we get into the volume. Now, if you guys want to check out the other videos in this playlist, I'll drop a link to those over here. And all these workouts can be done on a weekly basis if you're looking to build muscle and strength and you need a program of your own. So, hope you guys enjoyed this routine. Be sure to sign up on muscularstrength.com and make your profiles. And as always, more good stuff coming soon. See you guys.
If you're looking for a website that lets you build your own profile, interact with other community members, log your daily meal plan and add your own custom foods, find the exact routines you're looking for to reach your goals on a weekly basis, new recipe ideas to help improve your meal plan, and you enjoy learning new things to take your workouts to the next level, join muscularstrength.com. What's your maximum output?
You